Ember's Slight Chain is really good at starting off fights. Kunkka X is one of the best spells, I would say, at starting off fights too. I think they're okay with that.
And for Newbee, how do you beat this kind of lineup for OG? How do you beat a Naga Siren lineup?
It's tough because you want magic immunity versus it, but Lifestealer I think is not very good versus Naga Siren, but it's still an option for them. Juggernaut has already been banned out. I guess.
What about from the mid position? Do you like Invoker?
Invoker is. I would not mind it.
Quap's a very fast-paced hero versus an Emperor's Spirit.
It's really tough versus versus Kunkka and Naga though.
SGS for that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good versus Ursa. It's I think one of the Batrider's strengths too is being able to control the pit, which is always a concern versus Ursa. Yeah, Phoenix and Bat inside the pit. That is disgustingly good.
10 seconds.
When was the last time we saw SC play like a solid Tinker?
5 seconds remaining.
Can't remember if ever.
I'm not sure
what are they looking at
that versus Kunkka Batrider. It's a lot of catch.
Yeah, you mentioned Invoker. Invoker or Quap's more so SCCC heroes.
And it does give you...
It feels if that game goes too late though, then you're going to get split pushed to hell, and you got no way to fully stop it. They go for an anti-mage?
Oh, so it is going to be back to the SCC mid-Ursa and an anti-mage to contest a Naga Siren.
That's pretty good. I like this change of pace from Newbee though. And even though a lot of heroes are countered, I would say, like Ursa, I think is going to get kited incessantly, and their mid is also just. I'm just a little bit worried about SCC's Ursa. That's the only thing I'm really worried about for them. But other than that, I really like their lineup. I really like the hero-player combinations that they have.
How do you like the Anti-Mage versus Naga Siren?
Anti-Mage is really strong versus Naga. I think it's always a big concern for Naga Siren. Like, Anti-Mage is going to be 6-slotted at like 30, and then Naga Siren's still working on her 4th, 5th item, which is generally not very good. I don't think Batrider is particularly good at approaching Anti-Mage either.
Sounds to me like Merlini's leaning towards Newbee.
Yeah, I think lineup-wise, yes.
I'm leaning towards OG. I actually think OG, well, he actually said it himself in his own answer, like their kiting is going to be better, their individual control is going to be better. Like having both Ensnare as well as Batrider Lasso, I don't think that Ursa's going to have a very, very fun time at all. And then they've still got their team fight combination. Naga set up into a big team fight is what OG have crushed with before.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams next to like Team NP who are able to use that Naga Siren sleep aggressively to be able to set up team fights rather than respond to it.
It got nerfed though. Remember, this is not the same Naga that we've seen OG run constantly. The cooldown is pretty long now, and it's not as easy to play around.
So it won't be as consistent, but I still feel like going into the mid game, into the later game, it's going to be stronger for them because they're still going to be able to delay and control the tempo of the game through split push.
Yeah, they still have to bully through Ravage, though. I think Newbee, they're like with the Ursa and a Tide, they're going to try and force Roche with a Tidehunter ultimate, as is pretty common. And although OG have like very strong teamfight around the pit, I don't know if it's going to be good enough to break that.
And our laning phase matchup, you feel better about SCC's Ursa?
That lineup, that matchup is so easy versus Ember. It's so lopsided.
It's got to be such a free win for him, right? All right, it looks like we're not going to have a pause to start things off. So Toby and Merlini, take it away.
And looking forward to getting into this game, so...
Don't leave us, Cap.
Bye, Cap.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cap.
If you ever have a question, I'll be here.
Wow! Are you going to leave us?
You still have me, Ben. Tier 3 caster with Tier 1. We're good.
Sad face.
Well, you already had the baby rage before, so get over it.
Cry baby. Can I do emotes too? Or sound, whatever you call those things, in-game sound things.
30 seconds to battle.
It's a sound wheel, right? Like you class that as a sound wheel.
Sound wheel.
Imagine if you could do that as a caster. All of a sudden, Toby doesn't need to actually say it. He just pings it out. It's disaster.
You just line it up with your own personal soundboard.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a.
It's a disaster. You could do that, Toby. You can have so much fun with your
Toby.
You sound like you remixed.
Battle begins.
Let me just scratch that record.
Some more ideas for 2018 compendium.
Yep. Welcome to Disco Dota.
That is a lot of stacks.
Yeah,
Toby, I remember the
actually
first
got
time.
enough for this.
I remember the first time I casted. One of the first times I casted with you, you're like, you usually back off at 6 stacks. I was like, have you ever played against
KP's
Batrider?
dead. S4 actually took him.
That's a lot of stacks.
Yeah, I remember my early Dota lessons. It was the same kind of things with bristleback stacks. The second I hit 4, I should be very cautious. The second I hit 6, I just get the hell out of dodge. And yeah, so fantastic start for OG. And really now KP, well, didn't he just leave this party? Got pushed down to bottom lane, is up against 3 heroes, diving at the tier 1 tower. And now Faith is out too far as well. OG are going to claim 3 kills within the first minute against Newbee. And it's OG who are the ones doing what I thought like Newbee were maybe even thinking of doing, where they push this tri-lane down and then just let S4 have his fantastic matchup up on the top lane. And Newbee switched lanes up as quickly as they could.
I'm trying to think of positives for Newbee in this early game. Anti-Major and Ursa are getting good CS. Ana is actually almost on par with last hits against Ursa though, which is not very good. The stacks have fallen off. Oh no. Ana. Easy lane. All they really do need is a little bit of pressure though at the start. I think this is what they also did last time. Just, you know, slow down SEC's early game a little bit so he can't do roaches quickly and so Ana can get some CS and they're all good.
It's the fact that Observe would also, like I don't know if it got revealed a little bit that it was in the middle lane, but it was watching the movement coming in. That's the reason why he backed up and let the stacks actually disappear. Kaka, that's a nice one to grab. Especially when S4's trying to run this bottle play, but Kaka. Okay, mana. Burrow strikes down, the Animage will move over as well. S4 trying to keep the stacks up. He's got a fair chunk of them 4 onto Kaka, and he'll keep on going, but there's not enough mana for S4 to keep this going, as the stacks will wear off just because he couldn't put any more down. So Kaka gets back behind the safety of the tier 1 tower. Alright, Fly, that ain't happening.
So they're always threatening Newbee. Newbee feel really under the gun, which is exactly what you want to do versus an anti-mage lineup typically. Just make it so that if they 4-on-5, they will get crushed a lot of the time, and slowing down Ravage, slowing down Ursa is exactly the way to do it. And now Ursa pulling very far ahead in CS in the mid lane.
This feels like it's a better time as well for KP. Like, he's found a couple of levels now. He's able to harass No-Tail out in the lane. Get a lot more space for him. So KP's not going to be as shut down as I thought he might have been, but that's also at the same time as the OG supports rotate out.
This is ours.
He died top, and then he TP bottom, then he just died, so he had to do
Yeah.
a walk of shame. And he's still doing pretty well in CS, so that is pretty good.
Yeah, he's 13 too. He's 3rd on the CS. Like, the top 3 of the CSs until just a moment ago belonged to Newbee.
Yeah, I think level 1 tide is really weak because you don't have the combination of the Kraken plus the Anger Smash. Those two combined is just insanely to give us any sort of right clicker.
Torrent's going to connect, but they need more control. Quick blink away into the cover of the tree line, and next marks the spot cannot be done.
Very offensive 2-1-0 build coming out from the anti-mage. No points in spell shield. Don't need spell shield if they can't cast any spells. No poor man's shield though. It's a little bit rough, especially against Batrider. The lowest base damage I think of any hero in the game aside from Techies. It's
Ana.
pretty low.
Ana's not a healthy man. He's the man who did buy the PMS, but doesn't have a bottle. Ana has to burn another flask.
You just have to survive. And then once he gets his bottle, he'll have Shrine at 5 minutes. It's not a huge deal for him. Just don't die early on in the lane, should be okay. Once you're level 6, Ursa should theoretically be never able to kill you.
Looks like Newbee are kind of setting themselves up to get aggressive up on that top lane. So that they fit into this lane now with the Observer Ward plant. Like, they got 2 Obs Wards planted inside the jungle pretty nicely.
It's still really hard to kill Batrider because you have to chase him a little bit and then he glimpse back, but you're standing in Firefly most of the time, and then you have to turn because usually he's like way back when you glimpse him back, and then the turn rate is just really problematic with Sticky. I think the only way you can kill him if he's like extremely low on mana, but
they're going to give it a shot, so you glimpse, you put the wall up, Burrow strike up as well, and they have enough damage.
They didn't need it at all.
They used the glimpse to start it all before any kind of sticky napalm.
Yep.
So they never had to turn.
And the 2 points in mana break, also pretty strong.
And Kaka once more G-Rex has no escape out of this one, even with the movement speed from Boots, the blink forward, just from Mugi, making sure there is no way for G-Rex to run out of this. And that's going to be the kill going the way of the anti-mage, and pressure. S4 has arrived back up on the top lane, surrounded by 3 heroes and a creep wave underneath his tier 1 tower, but still cannot do much about it. Enough to intimidate them back a little bit.
Mugi's doing very well on the anti-mage, I will say. Like, he's doing a good job of getting as many white clicks in as he can, as long as he can dodge that.
Quick X marks, the Torrent's going to be able to connect. He doesn't have his blink available, so that's going to be actually a hit. You shouldn't have...
I'm just cursing everyone right now.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, man. Mugi actually falling on the top lane.
Yeah. That was a very nice prediction torrent, though, by Jerex. Outplayed Mugi pretty hard there, not Xing and torrenting in the same spot. So we need to see what SCCC can do with early farm.
Straight back to pressure. Oh, Jerex, that's nice. Very nice. X marks a spot to counter out the glimpse that instantly hits the torrent into Kaka. The Burrow Strike will create a little bit more space here as S4 has found himself in a bit of no man's land. No matter, he has to Firefly down into the river and try and put out this fire which he's created. Kaka can't reach him, and S4 will escape.
Man, Mugi can't reach him at all. He's like right playing along the cliff line, so that's pretty much impossible for him to stop.
This mid lane is still going the way of SC, and he wants to try and dish out enough damage just to force Anna to TP out.
Nope. Wasting a lot of time though for SCCC.
Alright, so Fly's commitment. What do you think about Fly actually spending this much time down the bottom lane? Like, is this just to counter the pulls that KP was attempting? Is it to give No-Tail more comfort?
I think it's to give No-Tail more comfort. You want the Naga Siren to be relatively close to the Anti-Mage. If Anti-Mage gets way far ahead, which he was with the 2 early kills, then you are not going to have a good time as Naga at all. Your like timeline for Anti-Mage to be really strong is
under attack.
widened even further if Naga has a poor time.
Which he's kind of going to have up against a Tidehunter. Like if she goes 1-on-1, there is no fun for Naga.
They have a lot of pressure on Newbee though to do something with the Ursa, I would say, because OG's for like 5-on-4 is going to be incredibly strong. I think they do have the abilities to deal with the anti-mage if they can sleep initiate on him or get an early blink onto him.
S4, Jirax is just the saving angel at the moment. Very difficult for Glimpse to work when X marks a spot is just so quick and crisp from Jirax. But, well, if it first doesn't succeed, bring a bear. So to dive underneath the tower, the Firefly is up from S4, and now it's OG underneath the tower with a vision advantage.
And what happens if it fails twice, Toby?
They try again.
Bring a Tidehunter, bring a Watermelon?
The Tidehunter's having a great time on bottom lane. Why have to bring him in? Get him more and more farm. So then when you're that 5-man fight you were talking about, like Newbee is renowned for, you're able to have, like, I don't know if you want to have Pipe or having just the hood up and running.
Well, it's not going to help that he got his self cancelled.
No. If you get enough money for the ring, then that won't matter anywhere near as much, but No-Tail and Fly doing a good job of keeping KP low and just cautious. He doesn't have mana for his Ravage, so he doesn't actually have that ability to hit the big ult and have the rest of his team come in and just mop up the pieces.
Little does he know that No-Tail has no way to stop TP right now. Going for the 304 build. No sleep at all. Doesn't really need it right now. He feels much better farming with the Riptide and much better harassment with the Riptide.
With Mugi now down the bottom lane, Kaka's rotating over too. They would love to have a crack of Fly. He's already used his Icarus dive, and with the blink forward, just had to body block him up for a little bit so Kaka can get in range for the Pyro Strike. And it's Faith who KS's by getting the little storm. The first bolt of it.
Punished for not having sleep. I do like how they... It's pretty common for Nagas to not skill sleep even at 6, 7, sometimes even 8. So they're at least trying to force her because the cooldown is extremely long at level 1 right now.
Anna, you got the X marks spot over on SC, gonna make sure the torrent connects, but with Enrage up and running, they can't do enough damage to the Ursa to bring him down, so Anna just has to disengage for the moment.
Everyone's dished to top lane. S4 is trying to prioritize.
This is problematic. The Glimpse is going to pull him back in again, and well, Mugi Blinks himself forward. The wall didn't actually connect, but S4's going to run out of time for his Firefly. So he has to go through the tree lines. Animage does actually have the Mana Void available, but it's a level 1 Mana Void, not that great. And with the rotation coming in from Ana, they get the Sleight of Fist here and chains perfectly on him. The X marks the spot, it's going to pull him straight back. He got the blink off before it. And Jirak just doing serious work with this Conquer, and they want more. The Burrow Strike forward, maybe Ana has bit off a little bit more than he could chew.
This X marks the spot has just been incredibly effective in the early game. Not only with the 2 defensive saves, the 1 kill on the anti, 2 kills on the anti-mage, and now the bottle refills, so they can just constantly keep up pressure and buy up more time for Naga Siren. This tower has just been under siege for like the last 5 or 6 minutes from OG's side. And Newbee don't really know how to respond because they can't get the Ursa involved in the fights. He's highest net worth, he was dominating on an CS, but now you have to do something with the Ursa. And it looks like he is
Roshan is the next.
Yes, it is, especially with Ravage up, but they have already taken down this T1 tower, and they probably are going to know what's happening very, very soon. I don't know if they want to contest it, though. No blink yet on Batrider. SCCC just got his lifesteal.
It is the perfect time, though. Like, okay, so you have a T1 for a T1 tower trade-off, because Mugi is keeping the pressure up here. Ursa's ripping apart Roshan at the moment, but there's still no Song of the Siren, there's still no Lasso, there's still no Ghost Ship.
They had to have known that they're doing it right now, though. There's just nothing been happening for too long, so it's an active decision to just not contest it.
And Ursa, full flight stun, looking for a Blink Dagger as the next item, and OG is still looking for their timings. The Radiance for the Naga Siren, one of their critical things.
He hasn't gotten any mana regen on the Naga Siren aside from the Arcane Boots. No Raindrops, no Aquila. So this will, I think, speed up his Radiance by a little bit. Maybe the Raindrops investment might have paid itself off, but he can also just rely on X and to TP back to a shrine to try and fill up his mana if he so desires.
I'm still wondering if OG have enough damage to kill off the Tidehunter before he gets his Ravage off, when that hood is already completed for him.
I definitely do not think so. Their physical damage is paltry.
So then how does OG take the fight? Like, you want to commit him with Song of the Siren into the last point of Nova?
They have a lot of spells that I think are good at dealing with Ravage. You can sleep counter initiate quite easily. You can use the egg like Ravage to do anything versus the egg. And is your team really going to fight into that? You're going to be caught in a weird position because Tidehunter can't actually disengage very easily. You can't just straight walk away from a fight. You're going to be chained or X'd or whatever other stuff they have.
Oh. Net. Fire Strike in mid. The Storm is up from Disruptor, and, well, can't jump yourself out, Ana, when you are silenced up by Faith. And this is the perfect timing for Newbee. They can just add more and more pressure. They've still got that Aegis Immortal on the Ursa. And they're trying to force some kind of reaction out from OG. They want to stop that Naga Siren from just continuously farming.
But they can't do it without a tower hitter. That is one downside of their early first 25, 30 minutes is no one's there to hit towers except for Anti-Mage when he's completely uncontested. Ursa is one of the worst tower siegers, and especially this early without a Deso, that tower is what, at like 60% health without really much chance of Newbee being able to push this down. I don't really think OG feel threatened at all. They just had to expend some Fire Spirits, maybe a Torrent, and they are good. Yeah,
meanwhile, Anti-Mage, as he said, like, he's not pressuring any tower. He's got free farm on the top lane, working his way towards the Battle Fury. And this is something, too, where OG have to maybe be a little bit more concerned about the ticking time bomb. Oh, it's a long glimpse. Perfect. And Jirax couldn't actually X-mark himself out. It was on cooldown at the time. So he gets picked up in the mid lane, but it's not going to stop S4, or maybe the Burrow Strike from Kaka. That'll do the job. Hiding inside the Sandstorm, the Flame Break bouncing Newbee around, but SC still feeling very tentative about being involved in the front line, so they just try and play this with Ana. The Burrow Strike timing doesn't work perfectly. He Sleight of Fist and Spirit backs to dodge the attack out from Newbee.
Yeah, that's the thing about Ember Zero versus Disruptor is kind of viewed as good because of the silence, which we did see just kill him just a minute ago, but Ember Spirit with good slight play and good remnant play can dodge the glimpses and just make it near impossible for the Disruptor to catch him out.
What do you think about the choice coming in from Tidehunter? You actually went for the damage talent, I believe, over the health talent after he picks up the hood.
The damage is 50 damage is so much. In terms of gold, that's very close to a relic, and then the 150 health is what, is like half a point booster. So we're talking about like 500 gold versus like 3,000 gold worth of stuff. And I think this game you're probably going to be farming a lot. You're expecting to go late. You're an anti-mid versus Naga Siren. I think you'll get far more value out of it. It's not like they ever want to go on the Tide. I think you mentioned, do they have enough damage to kill a Tide before he gets Milton off? And the answer, I think, regardless of him having the 150 health count or not, is still a resounding no. So I think in the long run, it will be way better for him to get damage. Ursa still has Aegis, doesn't really care. It will be not that fast of a siege, but another active decision that we see coming out from OG, which I think is pretty interesting, is that they're not involving the Naga at all. Remember, when they used to pick Naga Siren a lot, they had her sleep set up for a lot of fights, and this will be the first one that we potentially see from them. But at 16 minutes in the game, and she's so close to a relic, why even take the risk? And a lot of times they will like counter-initiate into an egg.
Yeah. Well, you said it perfectly. It's counter-initiation Naga. This isn't a setup which OG can dictate. They have to wait for the weakness to be shown in from Newbee, and then pounce at it. And they're still not ready to fight yet. The Ember Spirit is not in fighting condition. That's why he's sitting up on top lane farming. And Newbee commit a large portion of their forces just to keep that pressure on. Ana still needs to finish up those BTs, which he's very, very close to.
He's not doing terribly great in terms of net worth, though. But I think
5-2 to the 5-7 of the Mage. Oh boy. Oh, okay, goodbye. Thanks, Fly, for coming.
No chance out of that one. But we really haven't seen anything coming out from them yet. We haven't seen an egg, haven't seen a Song of the Siren, and haven't seen a Kunkka boat.
Yeah.
And it is pretty interesting, though, to see them do that and just like not fight instead of trying to fight 5 and 4. I think if they try fight 5 and 4, they might win the fight, but then they're scared about the anti-mage getting really, really big, because regardless of whether or not they win the fight, Naga Siren's farm is going to be a little bit stunted if they do go for the fight. So they want to have that safety just in case the fights don't go well, and it is a much safer overall approach if you cannot focus on stopping the anti-mage.
But now you get the first item from OG, which will give them confidence in the fight. It's the Radiance effect now kicking in from the Naga Siren, and this is more problematic, especially for heroes like SC who went for the Blink Dagger build.
Yep, but KP does not care at all
how
far up he is.
Well, KP is just a walking tank, but they'll try and control him up. Lock him in and then Disruptor wall. Ana need to wait a little bit longer before you can glimpse him back into that. But okay, so now Disruptor ulti just be completely wasted by Faith. They break off and Fly is able to solo kill up the support. Burrow Strike from Kaka. It's also going to miss. Torrent's keeping KP out of this fight, so we can't let the Ravish just yet. 3 heroes standing on top of each other. The egg from Fly will get taken down, but here goes your Ravage out from KP. S4, he was looking for his lasso control, but it doesn't work out. Not when SC is able to break free and do whatever the hell he wants. So a lot of chip damage over time into Newbee, but they still get a 3-for-1 trade out in their favor.
I didn't see if the Naga was controlled that fight, but the sleep came maybe half a second after the egg died. It's definitely not the plan for them. Level 1 egg is also very, very weak. A lot of times when we do see OG pick up Phoenix, they fight with level 2 egg because the level 1 hit 5 hits is just way too little for it to survive if focus on, especially versus Ursa. But at the same time, if you wait a little bit longer, anti-mage is just going to be able to blink Manta on it and just kill it very, very quickly. So they need to be very crisp with these ultimates. A lot of times when they do run Naga plus a couple of team fighters, they're very good about coordinating and making sure they're supposed to. But that particular fight has been 20 minutes or 18 minutes, and they've had one fight and one big team fight, I would say, and that was a big loss for them. At least they didn't lose.
And that was with Newbee missing abilities as well.
Yeah,
and like a lot of the control abilities were not connected. Disruptor Storm did practically nothing. The Burrow Strike early on from the SK achieved nothing as well. And you still lose the fight 3-1.
It's also a problem because OG have limited windows in which they can fight Newbee because of the Aegis of the Immortal. They had to fight in between the Aegis and the Roshan respawn, but maybe they'll wait for their second round ultimates and go for the Roshan fight this time, now that they actually have their Radiance. I think if they don't fight this time, they're going to be in massive amounts of trouble because Mugi's farm is going to start picking up. See the Battle Fury come out not that long ago, and I think he farms faster than a knockout with Radiance with that, especially when you have other heroes eating up farm around the map like Ember Spirit and the Bat Rider.
And the rest of Newbee starts getting more efficient, so Ursa is making the most out of the rest of the can. So you got a hand of Midas, 19 minutes in on this Tidehunter. Mr. I died 2 times in the space of 1 minute. Now has Midas, has his hood, Arcane Boots. This is a very, very comfortable position for the Tidehunter to be in. And an overall advantage of about 4.5k. It's very nice for the moment for Newbee.
SCCC going for BKB early.
Burrow Strike and then quick jump. SC.
BKB is an awkward item in this lineup because you can get sleep isolated, which is very common. You can also get lassoed during it, and you can also get netted during it. I think in this particular situation, you might see Ursus go for the Scepter more often because, firstly, you won't be BKB isolated from your team when sleep goes off. You can also use it during the lasso and not take any damage, and you can also use it to dispel net, so more of your natural counters are going to be dealt with. But it is much better at just zerging down people during a Ravage, which you might want to.
Oh, Newbee, you're going to come from behind. Originally, they were looking to get aggressive up inside the dire jungle. S4 blinks away. Kaka able to hit the Burrow Strike off, and SC right behind him with the Earth Shock. They have the slow on S4, so we can't run out this one. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. The Storm will contain up KP, but the wall wasn't there to actually work in synergy with it. So KP still has a Ravage available. It'll fly out, and it was actually just far enough away, so the Ravage is blown. They're trying to isolate Jirax with the Epicenter from Kaka. They're able to do so, and then a quick Spirit away, but no Talonfly retreating back past the tier 1 tower. Kaka looking for any kind of exit stun he can do, but doesn't find the target. They know No-Tail ran up that way, but when No-Tail just cut his way back through the tree line, back behind the tier 2 tower, and now the reaches of Newbee.
Ana is doing everything he can to screw up these team fights for Newbee. That was a with Ravage, also a with Static. That is 2 big team fight ultimates, and they still got
Give me the other Australian. You KP.
No, Ana, he was the one that forced them both out. He like baited out the Static Storm, but he was really quick on moving outside of his slight, and he was also really quick at dodging around the Ravage.
That Sunray SC's burning so much. Fly is actually going to end the streak, getting almost 1,000 gold for the kill. And then into the Nova quickly. They've isolated up the SK now. So 1, 2, and they're looking for a third. The stun, it cancels KP's TP out. And Newbee will lose 3 heroes on the bottom lane.
Have to be careful fighting without those ultimates. A little bit greedy, pushing forward a little bit past that shrine. Roshan is up right now. Sadly for OG, they are just terrible at taking Roshan.
Yeah, even with the double damage rune that's there.
That team is so bad at taking Roshan.
They're meant to contest it though, right?
They are meant to contest
it. It's the counter team. Okay, Jirax, with a little bit of help from S4, who gets rooted up by the Ancients. They still have enough damage. So Faith will fall. Kaka trying to contest this as much as he can. The Burrow Strike's there, and in comes Mugi. We kind of forgot about the anti-mage in this game. The Mana Void damage spills out to S4. Kaka is the man to get the last hit onto Jirax. But with no other follow-up damage, S4 is able to blink himself away to safety.
I wonder if they're going to try and do Roshan right now. Naga, Siren, Ultimate just came off cooldown, but they don't have Kuka, they don't have the boat. But their lanes are not in particularly great position, at least not top and bottom.
Well, if they can get this kill, it might be able to work out for him with a jump in from SC, but quick Spirit away. Ana low on life. He had a couple of one charges up his sleeve. Allows him to survive, but okay, there's another target. Can't get the X mark spot off quick enough. Kaka hiding inside the Sandstorm. Now they do see him. Double sentries actually planted down for this. Not the exact intention. The ship flies over. Kaka dodges that one, but a blink lasso arrives from S4, and they will mop up Kaka. So a lot of abilities being committed, plus sentries. But I suppose a kill is a kill.
That was a fair amount of ultimates, though. So right now, both teams certainly think about how they want to approach Roche. I don't know if you want to go with Song still up, though. They can still kill. I think Bat Riders, with enough stacks, can take down the Roche during the Song, depending on how low it is. And they have very good vision in there, in the pit. Yule's first spill. Yule's is probably one of the best items versus the Disruptor Static Storm. There's not really anything else that's going to save you from that. If he just drops it right on top of you, which is what the Disruptors are always trying to look to do. You don't want to set up for a glimpse just because oftentimes it is going to be dodged. So the most reliable way is to just drop a Static Storm on him. So Ocean contest, just no fight even from OG at that point. And now Anti-Mage is getting pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah, still walking around with the cheese. His mana style is practically done. And SC is just on the hunt with Kaka, killing off Fly back behind the tier 2 tower. And there's very little OG can do about that. But they would like to initiate in themselves. You've got the Ursa. now with a fresh BKB. So S4 is your primary player. He's got the 4-star, so he does have that ability to drag SC very deep behind the lines.
His Ursa is, I think, much better than the other times that we've seen him play too. He's been very active about taking Roche, and he's had a lot of synergy with Kaka, and they're just bursting people down in the Pro Strike. There's not that much you can do about it on OG side. Even if you build armor, it's a risky line because armor doesn't help you farm at all, and if you still die after picking up armor items, you're just going to fall super far behind in terms of net worth. So sometimes people think it's just better to go for other items and just try and farm faster than you are going to die inevitably.
Easy pick onto the tier 2 tower again. OG not looking to try and defend this at all. And Newbee very happy with this. They've still got their gang squad, which is Kaka and SC together. KP Mr. No maneuverability. He's the wall that kind of just walks towards you. But OG have got to do something about this because that wall's going to end up just barricading them inside their own home.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is getting, I think, a little bit too stacked too fast for them.
Well, he is top net worth, and SC's right behind him.
And he has cheese too. They don't have great burst on the OG side, so being able to pop cheese is going to be very easy for him in the fights.
That's a nice pick. 2.7k worth of value on the courier, so had the basher. Had the basher for the was that the anti-mages one? We can't see it from here. It's Ursa's. The color was Ursa's. Yeah. So SC loses just a little bit of extra control.
Still, with BKB in tow, feels pretty good about things.
That could be nice. Pick up SC, throw him down. If you can at least trigger off the Aegis, you get the BKB charge out of him, and S4 wants to go for this one. KP's holding onto the Ravage, just baiting it out as he's ensnared and controlled. So BKB down for SC.
Arcane Rune on Ana is very big.
They pull him back in again, however, with a Storm down. You might have that lower cooldown, no tell. The ship's going to be able to connect, but at the same time, they're all currently songed up. The Phoenix Egg stuns on 3. Kaka keeping them slowed up with the Epicenter. You've still got that Tornado Ravage, which now will be expelled out. Fly and S4 have tanked through it. Fly low on life. He cannot get himself away to freedom. A quick jump in from Ana. There's a lot of damage to SC. It's only going to break the Aegis to the Immortal. So you lose the Disruptor, and the Aegis will break. The stuns continue to go out. And then the Mana Void. It hits hard. Notel wants to retreat out of this one. He's not a healthy man. S4 can keep the control going, but even his mana is low. Jirax will give him a little bit more to function with, but then SC as well as Mugi, they turn around, they want the kill, but they keep just pulling and just controlling SC, cutting him out so hard he can't get the last little bit of damage, can't close the distance to find a kill near the Jirax or Notel. He wants to go for more. The battling under the shrine is also not what they want.
Well, you mentioned how OG are just incredibly good about taking fights, unbelievably good, you said, and they did a pretty good job of kiting the Ursa until the anti-mage came in and was able to dish out the damage that they needed to wreak chaos or wreak havoc on the OG lines over there. So they tried their best to bait out with Ana. Again, Ana's making very big plays with these runes. I don't think he can make all these plays without the Arcane Rune and the Haste Rune before, and this Ravage from KP, that 4-staff from S4 really saved the Naga Center. They really wanted to kill him right there.
Actually clipping Ana as well, so he couldn't attack even further, but it's that disadvantage you were talking about, right? Like OG trying to find those windows of opportunity to fight in between Roshans, in between Aegis and the Immortal. And that was just a little too early. Like the Aegis was freshly up for the Ursa.
And they had a perfect song coming out from Notel that time. I think the song came at a very good time to stop Ember Spirit from dying inside that static storm.
Another level of control, the Rod of Atos up for Fly. He now has that, so life is going to get harder and harder and harder for SC.
He needs a Scepter for sure. I think right now you just need as many anti-kiting mechanisms as possible. So
he's going MKB. That's in his quick buy.
Yeah, they have there were signs of a Solar Crest being built on Kunkka, and eventually Butterfly almost always comes out onto the Naga Siren. But I don't know if he's going to be able to attack that much.
Also feels really odd when you get the Lincoln Sphere up from the anti-mage these days. You're just like, well, I suppose that you just build an Aghanim Scepter instead. Lincoln's regeneration still good for you. It seems better, right?
I don't think there's anything you can reflect that's going to be bad for you. I guess Yeah, I can't really think of anything. X is good for him. Net is also good for him.
How's it
really
affect you
good.
with Lasso? Like it's
I have no idea. I guess it's just
technically it shouldn't hit you, but you should then lasso him up, and then you can drag him away.
possibly. But
I've never seen that happen.
you could just easily you could just easily pop it though with like a Yule's, which Ember would probably cast anyways on himself, or a Force Staff, which you also might already cast yourself. Atos, I guess, is also pretty good at popping it.
Unless his plan is to build both. But then your damage output is almost heavily reliant on SC doing work. And he's not. Yeah, he's going for Abyssal Blade as his next item.
Yeah, I don't think you can double down on X plus. It's around how hard you can fight it.
Oh boy. The Torrent is going to create a little bit of space, and Rage does come up from SC. The Ensnare tries to hold him there, but it's the Naga Siren caught inside the storm, unable to escape. SC had his BKB ready to fight. S4 also caught inside the river. Newbee, fantastic picks. OG thought they were the ones to dictate the course of that engagement, but Newbee bring all 5 players together, and OG now with 2 heroes dead with no buyback available, tier 3 tower can be assaulted.
Yeah, we did talk about that being Newbee's strength is being able to 5-man and execute in these team fights, and despite OG being very quick with the Force Staff onto the Naga Siren, she still died, and she does not have a way to break Glimpse herself, and Mugi is only, I guess, 3/4 slaughter right now, but it's not that big a deal for them because they still have a lot of time down on these cores.
Yeah, 10 seconds until Naga's back up again, of course. With the fortification, they're going to buy a lot more time on that. Ember Spirit, Yule Scepter, the Burst Rise is going to be able to connect. Buyback is available for Ana if he wants to commit it. But they've lost their tier 3 tower, so it's up to Newbee. Is this worth sticking around? You still have Ravage available.
You don't really want to go on Tidehunter. He still hasn't even used his pipe active right now.
They're going to X, they're going to hold him. SC wants to jump. He has to keep his distance, however. A Blink Lasso, they found a target. A quick glimpse trying to pull S4 deeper onto the Radiant side of the map.
I love KP's positioning in these fights, though. He's just like so deep that they have to go on him.
He breaks free of the Torrent. You've just lost Naga again. You don't get the egg off from Fly. OG, they're falling too quickly. You have to buy back on Ana as well as Phoenix if you want to have any chance of defending this mid, but with no fortification, they say that's not even worth it. But if you don't, you're going to lose more than 1 lane of rack. So there's your buyback out from Fly. Ana needs 16 seconds to not have to burn his money. S4's trying to chip him from the rear. Same with the Torrents, slowing down the attacks, but you're going to lose 2 lanes of racks.
You also still have Ravage on KP.
Yep.
So they might be able to kill him at this point, but even if they kill him, you're still 2 racks down.
S4. That push, the Yules have to set him up, but the Burrow Strike is down. It's a fantastic double-man turret, and now in comes Ember Spirit. Ana, there goes your Ravage, finally is out, but Ana has done a lot of damage. It may be enough, but SC, he just blinks away to safety. The ship from Jiro is trying to give Ana every opportunity he can to fight this, but it's just not enough. He'll have to buy back into this game. They want to keep fighting. The TP's in towards the Shrine. No-Tail's moving forward. They need some kills to make all these buybacks worth it. The Song of the Siren cancelling off the TP from KP. So No-Tail gets the double kill, the Sunray forward. Faith was pulled straight back again with the X marks spot. So No-Tail gets himself a triple kill. Some really good money from him, but the damage is extensive to the OG base.
That is crippling, having 2 sets of racks already down. And they just have massive damage issues at this point too. They might need like Kunkka of all people to transition into a physical damage build because he's really their only physical damage right now.
Mr. 6K, like how is he meant to find more farm onto that Kunkka? The Ember Spirit's already
you need someone to transition to physical. You're not going to kill an anti-mage with all this magic damage. You have no Silver Edge carriers to deal with the spell shield. And then you have to deal with the pipe resistance.
Are they actually going to try this while Newbee is down?
They have the worst.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're going to force them to buy it back to stop us from doing Roshan. Newbee would just be sitting there giggling going, well, we'll see you in about half an hour.
I don't even think they cared too much about it. I mean, Mugi could go in if he wanted to.
The Sunray's out. They know what's happening. They fully know what's happening. Here comes your ship as well. The illusion to scan out the status of Roshan. jump in. Here goes the second one. Kaka on the front lines. Burrow strikes, catches out 3. Roshan's low. Will he actually go down? The Phoenix on the back line. It goes to Dire side, but the Agency model being snatched up by Mookie. The Lazo tries to control him up. Glimpse it back in. The Song of the Siren, but he's back inside the Storm. No tell. Ticks out to the Storm. Damage and the quick flame break. Mookie, he just keeps fighting his heart out, and so could SC. A double kill for the Ursa. They want more, but really what they can take more is just the top lane. 3 heroes down, 2 of them without buyback. Kaka is the man on the hunt. He actually has the Dire Observer Ward. He can see him. He's prepping the epicenter, but he can't get himself down off the cliffside. Yulscepter protects S4 for a small amount of time, but he is down. 3 heroes now without buyback on the sidelines for OG, and the push is coming for the top lane of Rax.
Yeah, that's the definition of a YOLO Roche right there. Yeah.
Well, you knew, like it's the oldest story in the book, right? You're behind, what do? You try and gain any major advantage, you've got to go for Roshan.
It's just, that's a huge weakness in their lineup. It's like they have no tower hitters, objective takers, no physical damage dealers, although they do have pretty excellent team fight and decent late game with the Naga split push. We haven't seen many teams pick Naga for probably a really good reason. It's not as strong, and I think split pushing is much weaker relative.
That Burrow strike, Kaka. He didn't hit the mark earlier on in this game, but now he gets the perfect double one, and that is GG. Calling out from OG, it is no more the Newbee fight. That Tidehunter works out for them. You thought, okay, it wasn't going to work out at the very start, but they switch it around. The Animage finds farm. SC having the perfect matchup, not being banned out. That seems really, really solid for Newbee.
KP kept the faith. He believed in the Tidehunter.
He did.
It was really good.
Toby. You like that pun?
It's not bad. I liked his, and at first doesn't work. Bring a bear.
After that, bring a watermelon. And it looks like it worked. Newbee did indeed take game number 1 against OG. Ben, I think you pointed out perfectly when we were talking about the drafting. Animage facing up against the Naga Siren. You got that core matchup as well as the Ursa versus the Ember Spirit. Both those matchups were superior to Newbee's side.
I also think that this is the type of stroke of genius that Newbee needs to propel themselves into the top of the tournament. You can't keep playing same predictable lineups every time. And I think
like Tidehunter?
Well, Tidehunter wasn't it was more so putting Ursa in the mid because Moogie's been playing consistently and then switching with an anti-mage at the last second, which I did not see coming, but it worked out very well for them. And I think even OG showed a lot of brilliance too, going for the Naga Siren, who no one's really tested at all this patch. Is probably unexpected.